What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today for the Sunday morning weekly update, the week in review in the wonderful world of sports cards. Little bit of news, some PSA updates, and a bunch of charts and graphs. That's pretty much what we're going to do today. We're going to talk hit big three, football, a little bit of baseball, a little bit of basketball, probably mostly football and basketball, which is surprising. A little surprising in my opinion, but we'll get there when we talk about baseball. Smash the like button. If you got any questions, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's go ahead and dive in. Just a quick news recap stuff. I mean, the biggest thing of the week was the eBay stuff by far, by a mile, in my opinion. The eBay vault, eBay wallets, all that jazz. I've done 2 videos on it already. Dakota and I had a nice long conversation about it on his Friday night live stream, which I encourage you guys and girls to go check out. That was a fun one. The live stream Friday night was really, really good. We hit a lot of hard-hitting stuff with, grading companies, the eBay stuff, and then we had a lot of fun as well. Steve popped on late. Dustin popped on late. It was a good time. Jokes were had. Chat was on fire. Would highly recommend checking out that live stream if you missed it. We talked about that in depth there. I've obviously done 2 videos on it, but the eBay vault thing is a massive deal. Whether you like it or not, whether you like vaulting services or not, whether you like eBay or not, this thing is going to have massive ripple effects throughout the industry, good, bad, or indifferent. The time will tell how well they pull this off. I think there's definitely some positives to it, but there's the potential to be positives to it. We obviously need to see more information on it. And once we get more details, we'll have a better idea of kind of how this is going to affect everything. And I'm also very interested in the eBay wallet side of this too, and how that plays out. Is there some incentives to utilizing the eBay wallet? Some auto pay features as that get rolled into this, that sort of stuff. Between that and the vault, there's a lot of intriguing angles that this thing can go that could really benefit us. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some things they could screw up, make this way worse, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and see what they can do with it. Next thing I just wanted to touch on really quickly, PSA. So we are most likely, pending USPS, going to have PSA reveal videos this week. Both my economy orders popped last week. This is the economy lottery orders, just to kind of give you guys and girls a time frame on how things are moving over there. The first one arrived to them, so this is them getting it in the mail prior to their check-in process, arrived on 2/7. Those grades popped midweek this week, Tuesday or Wednesday. Grades popped on those. They haven't shipped yet. I'm expecting them to ship on Monday. The second order, which was another 5-card order, grades popped on late Friday night. Very late Friday night. That one arrived to them on Valentine's Day. And once again, I assume I'm probably going to get shipping notification on those very early this upcoming week, Monday or Tuesday, I hope. So those economy events are running about 4 to 5 weeks. That first order, let's assume I get it back by the end of this upcoming week. Door to door is going to be about 5 to 5.5 weeks, give or take. That's pretty fast. The other one is probably going to be closer to 4 to 5 weeks, 4.5 to 5 weeks. So a little bit faster even on that one. So those economy orders, if you get in one, they are moving, and they are moving strong. So I got a 20-card allocation that I'm sitting on. I have to have those cards in by the 17th. I am in the process of working through raw cards to fill those slots. I think I'll be good. I was putting the finishing touches on the pile. I need to review it and see exactly how many I have, but that gives you an idea of how quick those economy submissions are moving. Regarding filling the slots, one of the things that I tried to do to fill those slots was the 1990 MU Marvel box break that went kapooey on me in a hurry. And I am still working through the process on that. I am going to give it probably till end of Monday. I have made multiple attempts to try to end around contact the seller to no avail. Just to kind of give you guys a little update there. I have been going back and forth with Macari customer service, also to no avail. I am waiting on an email back from them before I make my next move. So probably early next week, I will do early this upcoming week, rather, probably Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday. I'll give them probably all day Monday to see if they respond. I was kind of hoping that they would do something, anything. I wasn't surprised that they're not going to, just given the time frame on this, but it's just a crappy situation all around. They're basically standing behind their policy and procedure, which, you know, I get, but whatever. Long story short, don't ever use Macari for anything, would be my advice on that one after this situation. So I'm going to continue to let that process play itself out, and we will see what happens, but I will probably do an update video on that for Tuesday. Kind of let things marinate for one more day, see if they get back to me, see if I can get some resolution on that side. And then I will probably reveal the seller. I'm not going to go, you know, guns blazing on them, because once again, I don't know that they just innocently sold me a box that they bought, not having any idea that it was resealed. So we'll see. Once again, so I'm going to give that about another day, and then we'll dig more into that. But once again, I wanted to let this process play out before I did anything too crazy. Not that I'm planning on doing anything crazy, but just wanted to do my due diligence on this one. I thought it was the right thing to do. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So expect a little update on that early this week. With all that being said, let's actually look at some charts and graphs and some prices, because some things are moving. Before we dive in, a quick word from our sponsor, MySlabs.com, home of 1% buyer and seller fees, plus a little PayPal goods and services mixed in. Absolutely fantastic platform. And if your cards are in your hand, it is one of the preferred destinations to move stuff. You can list things at a little bit of a slight discount over what they're listed for on eBay. Probably make the same amount of money, if not more, and move some stuff. And the first player that we're going to talk about after the break is Deshaun Watson. And they were tweeting out some statistics on how fast Watson stuff was flying off the platform the other night when that news broke on Friday. So quick word from them, and then we will dive in and look at some numbers.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Once again, shout out to MySlabs.com for sponsoring today's video. Let's go ahead and dive in. And like we said, we're going to start off with Deshaun Watson. So the big news happened with that on Friday. Cleared of criminal charges. Grand jury did not find enough evidence to bring him to trial. Does not mean that he still has some issues regarding the court of public opinion and potentially the actual NFL themselves. I'm assuming he is probably still going to get suspended for some games, most likely. I'd be surprised if he didn't. How many, we don't really know. That being said, he is obviously going to get traded. We are not 100% sure yet. Dakota and I had an interesting conversation revolving around this on Friday night, as in, do you sell now or do you wait for the trade to happen? Let's look at some actual numbers here. This is his Prism PSA 10 Silver. The primary 2017 is basically his main rookie card. And I also did pull up the Optic Hollow PSA 10 just to kind of give us an idea on that one. But the Silver Prism, you could see, was cruising along at just under $600 to $600. We got some 580s, some 600s, another 585. And currently now it is up over 800. So a $300 increase on that, a 40% jump. The Optic Hollow basically following the same path, also up about 35% from 500 to 675. So you got a nice 30-40% increase on Watson essentially across the board. I am of the mind, and SCA and I agree on this one, I would be selling now, personally, before a team is actually defined, because the hopes and dreams of many are still out there because he does not have a team assigned to him. So if you bought him on the dip in the summer or during the season because you're like, oh, he's gotten too cheap, I have confidence this stuff's going to get cleared up and he's going to get moved, I would honestly not get cute here, and I would just go ahead and move my position in him. If he gets traded to Carolina or something like that, is that really going to move the needle that much on his prices? If anything, it could potentially hurt it depending on where he's going to go. The only team that I think would have a massive re-upping of his prices would be Pittsburgh, and I just don't see Pittsburgh trading for him, personally. I could be completely wrong on this. Maybe by the time this video posts, I look like an idiot because I'm recording this late Saturday night. So as of right now, he is still a member of the Houston Texans. My guess is Carolina or a team like that, and I just don't know how much juice that has to it. So personally, I would just go ahead and take my money right now. If you bought for $400 or $500 and you could sell it for $800, lose a little bit in fees, you're still going to net out about $250 all day long. Don't get cute here. Just move it and take the cash out of it and move it on to the next thing. I think if you get cute here, you have a potential of getting burned because if he does get traded to a smaller market or a team that's just not as appealing in regards to winning, that's going to be a problem for him. And also, if he gets suspended 8 games or something like that, who knows? We don't know what it could be. It could be nothing. It could be 8 games. It could be a season. We don't really know. That could potentially ding him value-wise as well. So I would just go ahead and take my money, move it on to the next thing, and keep it moving. So that's my opinion on this matter. Plus, more and more are going to come to market as more and more people dig them out of closets and whatnot. I probably would have honestly already sold the second this news came out. I probably would have tried to sell these cards on Friday night, personally. But that's just kind of the way I work, especially with football. I don't want to hold this stuff very long. Make the money, move it, and just keep that snowball rolling down the hill, picking up steam of the fun money pile. So that's where I'm at with Watson. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below on the Watson stuff. Do you have Watson? Did you buy cheap? Are you holding for potential bigger returns? And if so, what's your sell point? You know what I mean? You almost doubled up. So to me, this is kind of a no-brainer to move off him. Moving along, the other big move this week was Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos. I have quite a few of his cards pulled up here. This is his Topps base. I have his Topps Chrome base, and I also have his Chrome X-Fractor, all from 2012 Topps Chrome. Come down here, you can see about a 30% increase across the board, other than the paper base has not gone up a ton. But 28% jump on the Topps Chrome base, 20% jump on the X-Fractor. I can tell you I had a local show today. There was Russell Wilson cards everywhere. A lot of just base paper, PSA 9s and stuff like that. But I saw a lot of Russell Wilson cards on tables that I don't normally see. Now, he's one that's a little bit of a different story as opposed to Watson, where, I have concerns about them actually, depending on what team he goes for, competing or whatnot. Denver's a legit pretty decent team. I could see maybe rolling the dice through the rest of the offseason and moving him before the season starts or whatever. And Wilson has a legacy behind him. So that being said, maybe you can get a little cute with him and hold him a little longer. My problem is the AFC is loaded. And even though Denver's good, there's just a lot of competition in that division. Just in the division alone, there's a lot of competition. Not counting the conference as a whole, there's a lot of competition. So I don't know. Russell Wilson makes them a lot better team. I don't think he makes them a Super Bowl contender, to be quite honest. I don't think he makes them, maybe an outside shot at an AFC championship game. I haven't checked the odds lately because everything hasn't shaken itself out yet. So, but Wilson got a nice little bump here. Once again, if you bought on the dip and you can move and make 20% on your money, I would honestly consider just moving it. That's just me. I have no lasting ties to Russell Wilson. I just don't know if I see them making a Super Bowl run this year. So at that point, I have a feeling that if you really want Russell Wilson cards, you could probably buy these back cheaper in season. So that's my take on Wilson. Good player, good team. I just don't know that there's enough there to put them over the hump, even with the Wilson acquisition. Just kind of a weird one here. I just wanted to check in. Jerry Jeudy. And a lot of the other Cortland Sutton as well. You can kind of substitute names in here. This is his Silver Raw. I was just curious. This card over the winter was going for about $10. And then now, after the Russell Wilson news, has spiked all the way up to $30. So nice little return here. I know we talk a lot of like, PSA 10 slabs, silvers, that sort of stuff. And a lot of people always wonder about, how do I get started? How do I kind of grind stuff out? There's still money to be made on the low end. You just got to think, I don't want to say outside the box, but, there was a lot of rumors about them potentially going after Russell Wilson. You could take a low risk flyer on someone like Jerry Jeudy for $10 on the anticipation of the trade. And then the skill position players get a little bump after that. Now, this is another one. I personally, if you made this play and you bought at $10-15 or whatever, and you could double your money and sell for 30 or 40 even, I'd be moving these as fast as possible. One, I'm not a big position player guy in the NFL. Two, this is kind of flavor of the weekish a little bit. You're striking while the iron's hot. I would just move off this stuff. But this is just one example of how that low-end market, there's still some, I don't want to say prospecting, but some like spec plays that you can make on the low end that you could easily double or triple your money on if you time the market correctly and really deep dive and do your homework on this stuff. Okay, what are the teams that are looking to potentially make a big move? Denver was linked to Rodgers. It was linked to Wilson. Like, those names were out there quite a bit. So it made sense that they were probably going to make a play for somebody. So if you were smart about that and said, okay, well, I can't afford Wilson or Rodgers, but I can afford some Jerry Jeudy $10 silvers. Just a little bit different way to think about it. And kind of keep that in mind. I know once again on the channel here, we focus more on like the $500 to, or like actually a couple $100 to low thousands, couple $1,000 cards is usually the realm that I personally like to play in, but still lots of money to be made on the low end if you're just getting rolling or have a smaller bankroll. Last one that I want to talk about, and this falls into the same exact boat, Jacob Easton. This is one that I would be selling as fast as humanly possible. We've seen this dog and pony show before, but Jacob Easton, this is his PSA 10 Prism base. These were going for $10 a couple weeks ago. March 7th, we got one for $9.99 in a PSA 10. They are currently selling for $32 and trending upwards. I would not get cute here. Once again, if you made some ridiculous play on Jacob Easton base prisms in the month of February for 10 or 13 bucks, and now you could sell them for 30, 35, or, extrapolate this upwards if you had something nicer of Jacob Easton. Move it. Don't get cute. Sure, might he get named the official starter and then it levels up again? Yeah, that could happen. My personal opinion, the odds of that happening are not very good. I think they're going to make a play for somebody else, most likely. I could be wrong. And then his stuff's going to immediately crater again. I would be selling this as fast as humanly possible, whether you were stuck with Jacob Easton because you bought last year in the summer a little high, or if you prospect, once again, very much like the Jeudy play, there's still a lot of decent, you could really grind out on the lower end. This isn't the biggest play in the world. You went from $10 to $30, but that stuff adds up, and not everyone's buying $1,000 slabs. So another excellent play. The bargain basement quarterback bin where you pick these guys up, late in the season, early in the off season, these for lack of a better term, scrubby quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky's been getting buzz. If he gets signed somewhere, his stuff's going to pop. It's already popped to a degree. Those are some of the easiest plays. The off-season football market is very predictable in some cases. I myself overlook it a lot, but these low-tier quarterbacks change teams, their prices spike. You could flip them and then get the money out of it fast and then forget about it. You have narrow windows of when to sell, and I think people get cute and try to hold in the season to really cash out big, but 95% of the time, those moves do not work out. So, Easton, another low-end flip play that you can make out on. Let's transition over, talk baseball a little bit. Baseball is obviously back. We are in the heart of the hot stove, essentially. The big moves haven't happened yet. It sounds like the Freddie Freeman situation is going to play itself out here pretty quickly. Maybe the Dodgers, this might be resolved by the time this video even goes live. But the card market on the baseball side is heating up in regards to interest. Like, more cards are moving and selling, prices aren't increasing, if that makes sense. Baseball's more liquid, but the prices aren't, spiking on a bunch of different guys. That's essentially what I'm seeing both in the charts and graphs and in person. My local show today, there was a lot of interest in baseball. A lot of people asking questions about baseball as I was walking around tables, listening to dealer interactions with other people. A lot of people were definitely looking at Vlad's, Lou Bob's, the trendy young batch of guys that you would expect people to be looking at that are at a small local show. Lou Bob Refractor, PSA 10s, Bo Bichette, PSA 9s, that sort of stuff. I will be interested to see what happens as these guys change teams, if we get like a blockbuster deal or this Freeman signing, this Freeman's card spike because he goes to the Dodgers. Other than that, I'm not sure we're going to see a massive acceleration in baseball over the next 30 days, price-wise. I think we see some stuff creep up just as general hype for the season builds, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm very curious where things go from here. Personally, I've talked about picking up like a Soto First Bowman Chrome Auto. Post-Atlanta show, I got the fun money pile has been rebuilt. I could pull the trigger on one. I'm kind of in wait and see mode because I have a feeling that stuff's going to come down once the season starts, kind of like it always does. So that's kind of where I am with baseball. I'm very hesitant on what to do. I have been picking stuff up if I could find deals. I grabbed the Vlad X-Fractor at a local show last weekend. I actually picked up another Vlad at a local show today. I don't know. We'll see. I picked up the Kyle Tuckers. Once again, just kind of a low dollar entry play there. $80 for a PSA 10 Kyle Tucker refractor. I'm fine with that. I think that has some room to go up. I don't think it has a whole lot of downside risk to it, but I could be wrong. So that's kind of where I am with baseball. I am in very much wait and see mode to see where these prices go over the next few weeks as we kind of fast ramp up to the season. I can tell you right now, probably if Bobby Witt comes out and has like a hot spring training, it'll probably juice his stuff a little bit. Maybe even Wander Franco, if someone comes out and starts hitting bombs. We saw that last year with Wander Franco in spring training. So it's kind of where I am with baseball. I'm once again curious to see kind of how things develop over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's transition over and talk a little basketball to kind of close things out. I know we're running a little bit long here, but just a couple things I want to hit on. Tatum. Jason Tatum has been on absolute fire. This is his PSA 10 green prism, a nice bump up this week from $1,900 to $2,400, a 24% increase. He's been playing out of his absolute mind the entire month of March and the latter part of February. He is just putting up huge numbers, and the Celtics themselves are on an absolute tear right now. He looks like everything we kind of thought he was going to be. His Silver Prism also got a nice little run up. Once again, PSA 10 Silver Prism 2017. Popped 744 on that one, so pretty low population. Jumped from $900 to $1,100, a 24% increase there. Tatum isn't someone I'd necessarily be running to sell, especially if you just got into him. I've always liked Tatum as a player. I moved off some of my Tatum stuff in Atlanta. But the Celtics look really good. They could potentially make a little bit of a playoff run. I don't think they're an Eastern Conference Finals favorite, just given how deep the East is. But I've always really liked Tatum as a player. To me, this green prism, I've talked about this before. It's been a while since I talked about it, is one of the best looking cards of ultra modern basketball. It is just an absolutely ridiculously sick color match. I've seen this card in person a few times. It just looks absolutely fantastic. If I was going after a Tatum card, I would try to track one of these down. If I wanted one nice Tatum card to squirrel away, it would be the green prism. Just doing a quick check-in, then we'll kind of wrap up here. Ja and Zion. Silver Prisms, PSA 10s. Zion got a little buzz this week. Pictures of him showed up with him in New Orleans, looking a little slimmer. And it did cause a little spike in his stuff. His PSA 10 jumped up to 1,800 after it was down to around 15 to 1,600. One spot spiked. We'll see where it goes from there. This is going over the last 14 days, by the way. Ja continues to escalate. His stuff over the last 14 days is up 20%. Zion is also up 20%. You can see Ja's Silver Prism is up to almost $1,900 now. On the high end, his stuff is escalating even quicker. I didn't pull charts and graphs on this because this gets a little bit tricky because there's not a ton of sales as often when you're talking low numbered stuff. But his low number color match stuff, things like that, have really jumped big numbers. His autos have jumped quite a bit. I can tell you, I have the Contenders optic rookie ticket auto that I got from the redemption. That was comping for around 2K all day. As of the last week and a half, basically since the beginning of March, there's been multiple sales of that card over 32, like around 3,200 bucks for that red Optic Contenders auto that I have out of 149. So his high-end market is accelerating quickly, and that's a general, I'll kind of close on this. One of the general takeaways that I have noticed, and I think a lot of people have noticed, a lot of people have been talking about this isn't just like my own original thought here, but I've been seeing it as well. There definitely seems to be a gap widening where high-end stuff is accelerating rapidly and more quickly. The mid-end is more working like these silvers, where it's like 10 and 20% increases, and then the low end has been a little bit more stagnant. The high-end stuff is definitely drawing a bigger premium and bigger price increases, which is, I think, kind of natural. So kind of interesting to see how that plays out. I keep meaning to do a deep dive on... I've had a lot of people bring up in comments about PSA 9s and 9s in general basically selling for raw, where you're not getting a premium on 9s anymore at all. And it kind of makes sense just as the prevalence of PSA 10s and just gem mint cards in general across the other grading companies. As more and more of those hit the market, it's going to hurt the 9s and the raws, especially in the low to mid tier. On the higher end tier, I think the 9's still going to add some value, but that is something that I need to dive in and look at. I just have not had time with the eBay news and just everything else going on, the Atlanta show, to just do like a proper, let me dig in and look at some numbers. So I might try to do that this week. We'll see. So that's all I have for you guys and girls. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz down below, notification bells, the whole 9 yards. Go check out myslabs.com. Content for this week, probably a PSA reveal at some point in time. I got some local card show pickups to go over again, because I did pick up a couple things, just a couple things, at the card show yesterday. Once again, if you follow me on IG, you would have seen that stuff already. Spoilers. Made a play, big play yesterday on some Thin Mint boxes. The Girl Scouts were set up at the card show. They got me. They got me good. Other than that, content-wise, not sure what we got on the docket for this week. That'll be Sunday, trying to figure that out. So subscribe if you haven't to come along for the ride, and we will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.